Okay, so we are back. Judge approves racism class action lawsuit for 6,000 black Tesla workers. Tesla Incorporated is currently involved in a significant lawsuit involving nearly 6,000 black employees from its California factory. The group alleges rampant racism at Tesla's Fremont plant, received tentative approval from Judge Noel Wise of Alameda County Superior Court to proceed with their class action lawsuit. This development underscores a continuing struggle with racial discrimination allegations for the renowned electric vehicle manufacturer. The lawsuit, initiated in 2017 by Tesla employee Marcus Vaughn, claims the factory's production floor was a hotbed of racist behavior, with racial slurs routinely used by coworkers and supervisors. Furthermore, Vaughn contends that complaints to human resources were largely ignored. Tesla, in response, denied any wrongdoing in a blog post titled Hotbed of Misinformation and stated that three employees were dismissed after investigating the alleged incidents. In June 2023, almost 240 other black former employees and contractors filed sworn statements recounting instances of offensive language discrimination in the workplace. In some instances, black employees reported being advised to ignore their experiences of mistreatment. Last week, Wise tentatively approved the lawsuit's class action status. This means that nearly 6,000 black people who worked at the Fremont factory from November 2016 could sue Tesla. A request for class certification was denied for all people not on the class members list. However, ARS Technicia reports that plaintiffs still have 5 days to provide an updated list of class members. The class action trial is scheduled to begin on October 14th, 2024. This is the same day as the separate similar suit against Tesla by California Civil Rights Department, CRD. Tesla is currently also facing federal discrimination lawsuit by Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and is appealing a $3.2 million jury verdict awarded to a black former Tesla contractor, Owen Diaz. All right. Now let's look at this video footage. All right. Of what went on with Marcus Vaughn. Here we go. Fair use.
Employee who sued and won a discrimination lawsuit against the automaker. ABC News reporter Rebecca Jarvis has more on the racial abuse he endured.
We just want to be just treated and seen as equal human beings.
This morning, a former Tesla contract worker speaking out after a San Francisco federal court decided the electric car maker must pay him $137 million over claims he suffered racist abuse at the company. Owen Diaz, who was hired through a staffing agency in 2015 as an elevator operator at Tesla's factory in Fremont, told the court he faced a hostile work environment where coworkers told him to go back to Africa, and ethnic slurs were heard routinely. Diaz says nothing was done to stop it, quitting after roughly 1 year on the job and ultimately suing.
They decided not to follow through. They decided to kill investors. can't keep treating workers like this.
Now, Tesla, whose founder and CEO is Elon Musk, ordered to pay Diaz $130 million in punitive damages and $7 million in emotional distress. And an unprecedented.
You're going to find out what happened with that amount in a minute.
People are living paycheck to paycheck. They have to take either choose to take the abuse that these billion-dollar companies are putting out or feed their families.
In an internal email to employees Monday following the verdict, posted on the company's website, Tesla's VP of People writing, although the facts they have of the case don't justify the verdict reached by the jury in San Francisco, we do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we have come a long way from 5 years ago.
Hopefully it will make them change workplace.
This is not the first time Tesla is facing.
Hold on a minute. Let's rewind that a bit. Hold on 1 minute. 1 minute. All right.
We have come a long way from 5 years ago.
Hopefully
Her name is Valerie what? Hold on 1 second.
Make them change and make other companies change.
1 second.
Way from 5
Valerie from Tesla. I'm sorry.
years ago.
Okay. Trying to get the person's name. All right. But this is Valerie, a black woman. You see this going on and you're not doing anything?
15 and 2016.
Valerie, that's her name. Valerie Capers. All right. You see this going on and you're not doing anything to help your fellow black people. You seeing them getting treated horribly. House nigger, field nigger, plantation mentality is real. It is real. But anyway, so let's go to talk about what happened to that $137 million lawsuit. Let's talk about that. All right. This is what happened. This is what happened. Judge cuts the payout in a black former Tesla contractor's racial discrimination suit. Federal judge has slashed a black former contract worker's payout to $15 million from $137 million in a racial discrimination lawsuit against Tesla. Owen Diaz, who worked as a contractor elevator operator at the automaker's factory in Fremont, California, sued the company in 2017, alleging that he was subject to racial discrimination. After a federal jury in San Francisco ordered Tesla to pay Diaz $137 million last year, Tesla challenged the verdict. On Wednesday, Judge William Orrick cut the award to $15 million. That's the maximum. Larry Organs, Diaz, a lawyer and founder of the California Civil Rights Law Group, told NPR. It wasn't because the judge found anything wrong with what Mr. Diaz said or that Mr. Diaz wasn't injured or anything like that. It's just based on a comparison. Comparison of what? Diaz testified that employees called him the N-word, among other racial slurs. A Tesla supervisor called him the N-word more than 30 times. Diaz testified according to court documents obtained by NPR. California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing is also suing Tesla over the alleged racism and harassment of black employees in the same factory. The evidence was disturbing. The judge heard that the Tesla factory was saturated with racism or wrote in his order. Hearing the word once can be devastating, Orrick writes, and Diaz and other employees heard it repeatedly and frequently in the factory. Despite Diaz's complaints, his employees did little to put a stop to it. The judge wrote, the emotional effects on Diaz were profound. Orrick added, all this leads me to conclude that this is not, as Tesla attempts to frame it, a case of garden variety emotional distress that was fortunately mild and short-lived, the judge wrote. In the message to employees last year that was shared on the company blog, a Tesla executive outlined what the jury heard and said the company believes these facts don't justify the verdict. What? We do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we were not. Then Vice President of the Vice President of People, Valerie Capers Workman wrote, we're still not perfect. Wow. Valerie Capers. Workman added, we will continue to remind everyone who enters the Tesla workplace that any discriminating slurs, no matter the intent or who is using them, will not be tolerated. Organ, who represented Diaz, said it's gratifying to see the judge recognize the gravity of the racism and that his client experienced at Tesla. Mr. Diaz showed great courage in standing up to the corporation like Tesla, which was fighting tooth and nail to beat him. Organ told NPR, Mr. Diaz's accomplishment should not be forgotten just based on the reduction in the verdict on legal principles. Starting Wednesday, Diaz has 30 days to file a notice whether he accepts or rejects the amended judgments, according to court documents. Tesla did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. I would, it's sad. It is sad what they did. You're gonna have when I was watching the video of Mr. Diaz, not Marcus Vaughn, sorry. You look at the comments and you can see a lot of white people were upset. They were, diminishing it, downplaying it, and they tell you that we don't live in a racist country. Tim Scott will say, a black Republican will say, America is not racist. He's a puppet, just like many of the black people on the right. Okay. They will say that until they get their N-word wake-up call, and then they start crying and playing, and then they start seeing it for what it is, because they feel that they have prostituted themselves to the Republican Party for so long. How dare you how could you do this to me? I was faithful. Just like a woman who lets in a man in her life, ignoring all the red flags, ignoring all of the people who have told you about this particular man. You decide to venture in this relationship, and then he hurts you, and then you cry victim. It doesn't work that way. Okay. And I'm saying this as a registered Republican. All right. Independent conservative. And I see it. We don't live in a racist nation. Look what's happening here. We don't live in a racist nation. Anyway, what do you think about this? Anything you want to know about this channel is in the description box. If you want to hit up the Cash App, feel free to hit up the Cash App. I'm also on Spotify. You can check me out. Hard Talk Radio live in 4K. And that is it. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.